I will start the session by giving out a brief context of the topic of the session. So according to government Follow Natsing 2030 program, SFM, or Sustainable Forest Management, play a critical role in the mission to achieve Indonesia's NDC. So hopefully by the end of this session, we can influence or encourage more parties to take part in achieving Indonesia Natsing 2030. So to lead the discussion, I have someone who is more than qualified. Let's welcome Pak Pam. I don't need to address who he is, right? Everybody know Pak Agus Pambadio. Silakan Pak.
Thank you, Mona. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, good evening. Sorry, I think that's just got my lunch probably. So welcome to the Pavilion Indonesia, and today we have a discussion on the 2030 Sustainable Forest Management Commitment. If we say word commitments, is very tough, and it's very hard to do. Anyway, for these items, I have three distinguished speakers. That's one is my professor is Indonesia Susilo. This is chairman of Indonesian Forest Entrepreneur Association. He's going to talk about the best practices for competitive and sustainability forest business. Before you sit down in front, Pak Agus Justiano will be give a keynote first. Second one is Isabella Indrawati, director in the Nature 2030 vision, nurturing nature for the earth and people's livelihood. And the third one is Dian Novarina, Deputy Director for Stakeholders Engagement and Certification, Apparel Group. They're going to talk about the robust sustainable forest management toward the 2030. So I think I have another one. Okay, that's all. Now I'm asking Pak Agus Justianto, Director General of Sustainable Forest Management, Ministry of Investment and Forestry, Republic of Indonesia. Pak Agus, please. Or I think the speaker should be sit here. It's better, probably. No, langsung aja. So directly, your floor is yours. Langsung. Dari sini boleh.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Agus Pambagio. Very good afternoon, distinguished speakers and participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to meet you all at this session and in the Pavilion of Indonesia. I want to deliver my highest appreciation to my colleagues from the Association Indonesia Forest Concessionaires, or APHI, Indica Nature and April for conducting this session, for discussing sustainable forest management commitment, particularly toward the year 2030, for achieving our national agenda of Indonesia Follow Natsing 2030. At the beginning of this session, please allow me to deliver a brief overview of Indonesia's sustainable forest management policy and also commitment. Distinguished speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Indonesia is the world's largest archipelagic nation with 125.92 million hectares of land, or 65.8% of its total land area designated as a national forest areas. Indonesia forest areas is categorized into three different functions, that is production forest, protection forest, and conservation forest. Under the Indonesian law, the area legally designated as forest area, or we call it kawasan hutan, is under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Environment and Forestry. The forest area has areas that are both covered by forest or forested and not covered by forest, or we call it non-forested. Improvement in forest management are needed to manage Indonesia vast forest for the welfare of the people and as environmental sustainability. In efforts to build sustainable forest management, we are there at five pillars. That is area certainty, business modalities, productivity, product diversification, and competitiveness. These five pillars are our guiding principle for sustainable forest management from upstream to downstream. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, 8 significant strategies have been implemented in Indonesia to improve the implementation of sustainable forest management. That are the first, Indonesia has a mandatory national system for the certification of forests, known as the Indonesia Timber Legality Assurance System, which was later updated as the Indonesia Timber Legality and Sustainability, or SVLK. SVLK has developed to promote the sustainability of forest resources and ensure the legality of forest products, thus reducing illegal logging and also trade. A web-based information system has been developed to support the SVLK by providing an online timber administration system to ensure the traceability of timber and timber products from legal and sustainable sources. Second, ensuring peatland and primary forest sustainability. By the year 2023, the moratorium of new concession in peatland and primary forest for timber extraction accounted for 66.7 million hectares. The moratorium is an effort to reduce emission from deforestation and degradation. Regarding the sustainable management of peatland and mangrove, the Peatland and Mangrove Restoration Agency has been established to restore the peatland and mangrove areas. It is estimated that sustainable management of peatland and mangrove ecosystem will contribute to significant emission reduction to achieve our nationally determined contribution. Third, the establishment of forest management units or FMU as an organization at the site level to improve the institutional arrangement of forest management and support forest governance in Indonesia. FMU is very important in the implementation of climate change mitigation. Fourth, social forestry program. Social forestry refers to the sustainable forest management in state forests, private forests, or customary forests conducted by members of local communities or other community groups. It is intended to facilitate improvement to the local welfare, environmental balance, and socio-cultural dynamic through the establishment of village forests, community plantation forests, adat forests, and forestry partnership. Fifth, developing an online forest management system. One of the foundation of implementing good governance is public information disclosure. The Ministry of Environment and Forestry is committed to sharing all about exam information, open and accessible to the public. All the information systems are designed to support transparency and improve public services in the forestry sector, such as Timber Legality and Sustainability System, or SILK. And then Forest Product Administration, we call it SIPU. One Data SFM, or Satu Data PHL. Geospatial Information System, or SIGAP KLHK. Forest Fire Monitoring System, or SIPONGI. Environmental Impact Assessment, or AMDALNet. 6. Optimizing production forest management practices through reduced impact logging, or RIL, and intensive silviculture system, or SILIN. RIL and SILIN are technological instruments for increasing the regeneration of secondary natural forests. The application of SILIN as an effort to increase carbon reserve through enrichment can increase natural forest productivity up to 3 to 4 times the current productivity. 7. Reconfiguration of forestry business. The multi-forestry business concept includes forest area utilization, timber and non-timber forest products utilization, and environmental service utilization to get greater forest benefit, particularly in the protection and production of forests. Reconfiguration as an entry strategy to achieve optimum forest resource utilization and green investment development. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. In September 2022, Indonesia submitted the enhanced NDC to UNFCCC Secretariat, reflecting an increase in emission reduction target from 29% to 31.89% unconditionally, and 41% to 43.2% conditionally, as a transition towards Indonesia's second NDC aligned with the long-term strategy on low carbon and climate resilience, or LTS-LCCR 2050, as a vision to achieve net zero emission by 2060 or sooner. Indonesia considers forestry and land use of FOLU as the main sector in achieving our NDC target. Most of Indonesia's greenhouse gas emission reduction will be fulfilled by FOLU. After conducting a thorough analysis, we are confident we can implement our strategy and will be in the net sink condition for the FOLU in the year of 2030. Starting from COP13 UNFCCC held in Bali, Indonesia is putting forward the emission reduction coming from the FOLU, especially in finding its most applicable strategies. Therefore, the strategy to achieve FOLU net sink 2030 is classified into the avoiding deforestation by limiting plant deforestation, and reducing forest degradation is mainly driven by harmful practices, protecting and restoring the peatlands, accelerating afforestation and reforestation of degraded forest lands. Strategies to achieve FOLU net sink 2030 is the latest strategy for sustainable forest management to mitigate climate change. Eventually, to conclude my remark, the target and policy on sustainable forest management in Indonesia are already set up for 2030, and commitment from stakeholders are in place. I do believe that through collaborative work, all of us could achieve our 2030 goals in time. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Agus. So because the time is always run very fast, so I just won't talk to anything comment time with Pak Agus. So I ask Prof. Indrayono to, so I'm sorry, Indrayono, to start your presentation. You want to sit down or standing here? It's up to you.
I just want to see the presentation of.
Okay, it's 15 minutes, Prof.
No, 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes.
Good afternoon, everybody. Director General Agus and Moderator Agus, and my colleagues and friends. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for inviting us, the APHI, for today's presentation on the best practices for competitive sustainable forest business. So the tagline is actually sustainability. Next. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share with you that in 2023, there's a new law in Indonesia due to omnibus law. There are 80 laws, consist of 1,200 articles. They put it into one to become what they call law on job creations. It's a law number 6, 2023, in which in the forest activities, now there is a possibility of doing multi-business activities, including economy, social, and also ecology. Next. I'd like to share with you that yes, there are 30 million hectares of forest concession in Indonesia. 11 million of those are plantation forests. And we have what we call 18 million hectares is what we call natural forests. And 1 million hectares of those are the ecosystem restoration forests. These are the upstream forest activities which should be managed, should be utilized in a sustainable way. And now all of the forest industry in Indonesia have to rethink, have to do some reconfiguration following the new job creation law. It was just enacted in 2023. Next. Ladies and gentlemen, so in order to do that, before we only working on wood-based industries. Now we also working on non-based industries and bioprospecting. We can go also on agroforestry, combining forestry and agriculture. There are also ecosystem services, like ecotourism, but also on carbon trading. Last but not least, also on biomass energy and renewable energy. This can be conducted in a new regulation in an integrated approach program. Next. So how can we do that? And the idea of this program just show to you that there is an increase of our export. Because with the new regulation like this, we have to go into upstream, downstream industries, and to the market. And we are very happy to see that because of the new regulation right now, the export values of Indonesian forest industries increasing since 2017 to 2022, up to 14.2 billion US dollar. Of course, next, we realize that we have a global economic cloud in 2023. There is a minus 5% of our production until October. Last year is 14.2 billion dollar. Now we are talking about 11.1 billion dollar. We still have 2 months to try to catch up. Hopefully that we still okay in 2023. This number one export, our export is mostly on papers. Number 2 is on pulp. Number 3 on plywood. Number 4 is on furniture. We try to manage this in 2023 and hopefully in 2024 still much better in terms of global economy. So you can at least be ready to have the new achievement next year. Next. So let me show to you some of so it's minus 5%, 5.7% until last October. This is hopefully can be rebound before the end of the year. Next, some of the examples I'd like to share with you because by doing so, there is some ways that in order to do some sustainable forest management, optimizing the value-added products, innovative and more creative, using artificial intelligence among others, and we have to penetrate not only traditional market, but also new markets for the forest industries all over the world. Next. I'd like to share with you some of the examples that Indonesia now is moving in our forest industry. So you got the idea, where are we right now? For example, next. When we have a COVID, I think our forest industries, our timber industries switch their product directly to produce health masks to prevent COVID, spread of COVID pandemic. And we can do this within 3 months after the 2019 COVID occur in Indonesia. Next. We also working now with, I think my colleague from April will be more detail on this. Now remember that we always import a lot of cottons to produce textiles. Now using wood product industries, from the plantation forest we can go into dissolved pulp, into viscose and produce rayon threads and yarn, and we can produce high quality textile and branded garments on this. So this is the way, by using a wood product, now slowly but surely we can reduce our import of rayon. We can produce our own rayon in Indonesia. Next. You might not believe, now we are moving toward housing construction using wood. This is most of the Indonesian product. We realize now that people said, well, let's go with the baja ringan, light steel. But light steel will produce footprints on carbon. This one, woods, they conserve the carbon, produce credits for this one, Next, see, the same like this. And most of these already have a SNE, the national standard, that established by the Ministry of Public Works. So we can now use this product, for our housing activities in Indonesia. Next, we're also working now mentioned by the Director General Agus regarding how can forest industries support the energy transition in Indonesia. PLN, the state electric company, already set what they call a co-firing program, combining coal power with we call it wood chips power, biomass power energy. Now start with 5%. So 5% is from biomass coming from wood chips, and 95% coming from coals. By the times moving, this will increase in the percentage because we have to plant the trees first. Indonesia is very fertile. We have 365 days of sunshine. You can use barren land, unfertile land to grow trees. And the tree can be mixed to produce pellets and also to produce wood chips that it can be used to fulfill the co-firing program in our power plants. Next. See, this is for example, Kalianda trees, you can produce wood chips, but at the same time also you can produce wood pellets. We can use this as a complementary feedstock for power plants of coal power plants, but also the pellets can be exported. Because now global market is very big on pellets because they are also moving toward coal, from coal into more new and renewable energies. Among others is the wood pellets. Next. Well, there's my last presentation. We remember that we are the global market always working on very specific natural forests, natural trees. Not all. So if you produce trees from our natural forest, maybe only 1 or 2 or less than 20% of those woods being cut and legally exported. However, the 80% is still intact in our forests. So now we like to promote all of this into the global market with following global standard, including what I mentioned by the Director General, with the wood legality certificate. So this is the time for us all together that we can do this. And next, but my last presentation, our wood legality certificate is well known globally because we are working together with the European Union to produce SVLK, which is the same as FLECT VPA, that it can be marketed into the 29 countries of the EU countries. So that's why now Indonesia, together with our embassies all over the world, working together to promote our products based on SVLK FLECT VPA certificate. This is the thing that actually we are now in the position ready to penetrate more in the global market. Thank you very much, Pak Agus.
Thank you, Prof. Due to the discussion aim to reach and influence businesses, associations, government bodies, and environmental activists to actively participate in achieving Indonesian Volume Net Sink 2030 through its 15 key scopes. So I would invite the private sector here in Indonesia. I'm going to ask Ibu Isabella Endrawati, Director of Legal and Compliance External Affairs and Corporate Secretary Indica Nature with the 2030 vision, nurturing nature for the earth and people's livelihood. Bu Indrawati, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Pak.
Yes.
It's already on?
Yeah, it's
It's
already.
working, okay. Thank you, Pak. So actually there's a slight change in the, in the slide, but it's okay.
It's okay.
So thank you so much, April, for giving me the opportunity to share with you. So Prof. Indroyono already shared the data about the whole thing. So I'm gonna take you all for the example how this baby child of Indica Nature, of Indica Energy is trying to take a big steps in this business. So yeah, next please. Yeah, so Indica Nature is actually a part of Indica Energy Group. So we're the youngest child of Indica Energy. Indica Energy has been providing energy for Indonesia for some years now. And Indica Energy also has strong commitments for sustainability and also providing livelihood for people or community surrounding. And in 2021, Indica Energy actually set out bold aspirations. Namely, first one is 50% of the revenue should come from non-coal by 2025. And then the second one is we should achieve net zero emission by 2050. Very strong and bold commitment or aspirations. And there are several strategies to do that, namely decarbonization, divestment from the coal industry. And the third one is actually diversification to other businesses, including Indica Nature. So next, please. So Indica Nature actually was established in 2021, and we declare our vision and mission, as well as our commitments in COP27. So as you can see, we're creating sustainable future for Indonesia through nature-based solutions. Next, please. So we have 3 pillars, namely biomass or energy plantation, environmental services, namely carbon and water, agroforestry and non-timber forest product, as well as we just acquired the essential oil and extract business to make sure that the downstream to upstream is secured. Next, please. So from the 3 pillars, I just want to highlight one concession. So we're currently engaging in 5 concessions, all located in East Kalimantan. I just want to highlight one concession, namely PT Telaga Mas Kalimantan. Why I want to highlight this one? Because this is special for us. In one location, we spotted or we managed to identify several potentials, namely water, carbon just as a bonus, agroforestry, and geosite. So this is amazing because we found out a geosite, burial site that age, that's from the prehistoric age in our area. And that should be the source of ecotourism later on. And currently it's being assessed by University of Gajah Mada. So this is a big potential as well for us and for the community. Also, we have the non-timber forest product whereby we're going to scale up the rattan production currently carried out by the women of local communities as well as the customary people of Mului. And for the water supply, we have 7 rivers as well as springs in our location. We already identified the off-taker, so we plan to supply drinking water supply to IKN for this one. Next, please. Also so we have when we started the business, we know that we're going to engage in agroforestry. We have identified several commodities that we want to engage in. 3 anchors will be coffee, cocoa, and vanilla. So we already also identified the off-takers. We actually just acquired PT Natura Aromatic Nusantara to ensure the off-taker for essential oils and extracts. We also just took participation in Slow Coffee to ensuring the off-taker for coffee and cocoa. And then also we already had a handshake for Mahora Hora. That's for Arenga and Alien Green for coconut. And next, please. So what we try to offer is a landscape approach or the forest management, sustainable forest management, which is truly regenerative. So we believe that the way we do it, we have to be climate positive, nature positive, society positive, of people positive, but then again, there's one more to add, which is business or profit positive. because without income positive or business positive, how can we ensure the economic value for the people? It will not sustainable. So only if we provide a sustainability in the income for the people, then it's going to be sustainable. So, and then next is, I think that should be, next please. Yeah, so we know that we're going to be the scope 3 for our off-takers. So the way we do it, we make sure sustainability and integrity to be in our nerves. So we already apply digitalization in our business as well to make sure everything is traceable. And then also we try to use chemicals up to the very minimum limit. So we use biochar instead of the chemical fertilizer. We don't use herbicide. And then the way we do the land management, we use a good principle of land management. And next, please. So also in our area, we try to make a collaboration with the people there. Currently, we have 24 corporations. We built 24 corporations within our area. So our area consists of 82,000 hectares, and we already built 24 corporations. So why corporations? Because we believe that being inclusive is the way to do it. Currently, we only have 10 members on site, but then again, we managed to do all of this through our partnership with the corporations. Without that, I don't think we can meet our goals. And then again, sustainability and then also livelihood of the people is two main concerns on our concessions. So next, please. Thank you. So I mean, we're open to discussion later on. Thank you so much for now.
Thank you, Bu Indrawati. Thank you. But the last one, the last but not least is, I apologize to April because I mentioned person before is not Pak Sihol. So now is Sihol Parulian Aritonang. He's the President Director of PT Riau Andalan Pulp and Paper, Robust Sustainability Forest Management Toward 2030. So again, the private sector will talk about this title. Time's yours, Pak.
Thank you very much, Pak Agus.
Could you post the presentation?
Yeah, it's coming, I guess.
Okay.
So, I'm going to walk you through how a private company like April, in its sustainability efforts, are also aligning all the activities, all the strategies and objectives with the national priorities, which is to achieve follow net sink. Okay. Now, next slide. I would like to give a context to explain the context of where we are coming from. April, we produce pulp, paper, and other paper-based products or pulp-based products. Yeah. Of course, our flagship product is printing paper. We operate one manufacturing operations in Riau. It's the largest integrated manufacturing operations in the world to date. Yeah. And supplying to the manufacturing operation is plantation of acacia and eucalyptus managed by Riau Andalan Pulp and Paper, the operating company of April, together with some supply partners of Riau Andalan Pulp and Paper. So collectively make the April group, so to speak. So 454,000 hectares under the management of the April group. And then in addition to that, we conserve and restore around 361,000 hectares of natural forests. We have a 1-for-1 commitment where we commit for every 1 hectare of plantation forest that we manage, we conserve and restore an equivalent of 1 hectare. Yeah, as of today, we are short by around 20%. So we have achieved 80% so far. Okay, we produce pulp, 2.8 million ton per year, paper 1.1 million ton per year. And the business of pulp and paper draws a lot from technology. So we employ a lot of scientists in our operations. Next slide. I would like to give an illustration of how pulp and paper is an integrated operations. Yeah? At the upstream is the plantation forest or the industrial forest, short HTI. Okay? And then in the middle is, of course, the logistic operation, carrying all the woods to the mill, and then subsequently it's manufactured into pulp product, into fiber product. It could be pulp, it could be paper, it could be rayon, it could be packaging paper or paper board. Yeah. And then, of course, logistic operations, sending the products to our customers all over the world. I would like to highlight that along the value chain of April, we are very aware about the need to demonstrate and to practice sustainability. Yeah? And based on that, we formulated our commitment. Okay. Now, since 2015, we have announced our Sustainable Forest Management Policy Commitment, 2015. And then 5 years later, in 2020, we announced a new, broader commitment for sustainability. Next slide, please. And this is called April 2030. We launched this 3 years ago, and then fast forward 3 years to today. I'm happy to report some of the progress that we made, but April 2030 itself is the guidance for our sustainability practices for the next 10 years, or 7 years now left. Okay. There are 4 pillars to the commitment. One is climate positive, which basically means we take part in reducing emission in all aspects of our operation. Yeah. Thriving landscape is the second pillar. Here, what we talk about is increasing the productivity of the existing land that we manage, that has been entrusted by the government for our management. And also, we would like to promote conservation. Yeah. The third pillar is about company growing together with the community around our operational base. Yeah. And the fourth pillar, sustainable growth, speaks about circular economy, less waste, more efficient production processes. Yeah. Now, for every pillar, we define the target indicators. Yeah. And for every indicators, we also identify the numbers. Yeah. We believe in April that unless you are able to measure, then you will not be able to manage. Yeah. And we dedicate one website specifically for us to talk about April 2030 commitment. Yeah. Next slide. Okay. After 3 years, where have we? What have we achieved? Yeah. I will not go through everything, but I'll pick some examples. Like first pillar is about reducing emission. Okay. What we have done is that since 2021, we have installed solar panel in our manufacturing premises, in our operational premises. Yeah. To date, we have installed 11 megawatt of solar panel. Yeah. Thanks to the progress of technology, now the payback period of solar panel has gone down from previously 12 years, now it's about 6 years. So we are encouraged to do more, while our commitment when we launched April 2030 is to have solar panel of 25 megawatt. Yeah, we are now doubling the commitment. Yeah, by 2025, we should have 50 megawatt solar panel installed. Okay. Our manufacturing operation currently draws energy from the internal production process. We are at 87% now, yeah, and we have achieved a 1.8% increase in the use of renewable energy. Okay, we have enjoyed the big gain from use of renewable energy, and we will continue to pursue our target of 90% by 2030. 2030. Okay, and then we also are reducing the carbon intensity in our products. Yeah, we have changed some of the technology that we are using so that our operation will be less carbon intensive. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, at the upstream side, yeah, we have plantations. Now, in the plantations, we also actively measure the emission. The drawing here, the visual here, shows one of the 4 greenhouse gas emission tower, emission measurement tower that we have, that we operate, yeah, where it constantly captures and measures the level of carbon emission and some of the other emission, yeah, like methane and the others. Yeah. So we operate this, and then we are very conscious about the level of emission that our plantation operations create. We now have data that spans more than 5 years about the level of emission related to our industrial forests, and also we compare it with the intact peatland. Yeah. So those of you who are interested in knowing more about this research, please seek the recent publication at the Nature journal. Next. Okay. The second pillar is thriving landscape. Yeah. Thriving landscape is about conservation, and it's about increasing the intensification of our production forests. Yeah. We are not adding to any of our footprint anymore for production forests. Yeah. But we are enhancing the productivity of our industrial forests. Now, in addition, we want to promote more of conservation effort. And to do that, because conservation doesn't come free, we have committed that every 1 tons of wood that comes into our production facility, we impose an internal tax of $1. Yeah, so we will have sufficient fund internally to finance our activities related to nature and climate. Okay. Now, our plantation productivities has increased around 13% since 2018. Next slide, please. Okay, I mentioned about intensification rather than extensification. So if we compare with the 2018 numbers, yeah, our industrial forest now is showing much more productivity. And we achieve this because we are drawing on technology, on research, on good silviculture, and on genetic matching. So for every type of soil, we know now which species of acacia or eucalyptus should be planted. And that enables the increase in the productivity. Next. Okay. Now, I mentioned about installation of 11 megawatt solar panel in our manufacturing operations. Yeah, we didn't stop there. We also install solar panel at the base camp of our industrial forest estates. So this demonstrates our commitment that sustainability, reduction of carbon emission is not only at the downstream side, but also we are applying at the upstream segment of our business. Next. Okay. Now, how do we link this with Follow Net Sync? Yeah. From the Follow Net Sync document, we figured that there are about 15 types of activities or priorities that parties, companies, or stakeholders can pursue. Yeah. In the case of April's operation, at least we identified 5 scope of Follow Net Syncs are directly relevant to our operations. And these are being addressed adequately by our sustainability commitment, April 2030. Yeah. Plantation forest development, of course, I mentioned about the increase in productivity, our commitment to apply internal tax of $1 for every ton. Yeah, and then sustainable forest management. We operate on both mineral soil and peatland soil. Yeah, so we apply good forestry management, including water management. Yeah, peatland restoration and peat water management is something that we do regularly in our operations, because not only that affects the productivity of the land, but also it protects peatland from drainage and from the risk of fire. Yeah. Biodiversity conservation, as a permit holder, we are obligated to protect wildlife, yeah, that are living within the concession area, whether it's in the production area or in the protection area. And social forestry, of course, we take part in promoting social forestry in collaboration with the surrounding community. Okay. Next slide. We don't stop there. Yeah, we believe that sustainability is a journey, and our contribution to follow net sync, yeah, only leaves us 6 years, and we are running full speed, all hands on deck, yeah, because we believe if we achieve follow net sync, we improve our sustainability, that will ensure that the business also will go on forever in a sustainable manner. I will end there. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Sihol. Before we ask public to, the audience to ask those three gentlemen, I have one question for each of you. For Pak Sihol, because you just finished your discussion. My question is, how April applying science-based solution to drastically reduce carbon emission? Okay. And for Bu Sabella, question, what are the challenges to implementation of your company's 2030 vision? And to Prof. Sindroyono, trend of wood product export based on natural forests like panel and woodworking tends to decline. And the contrast, wood export based on plantation forest increase. How to anticipate the trend in the future of Indonesian forest industry? Okay, maybe Pak Siol first, directly after.
Thank you, Pak Agus. Emission reduction, as I mentioned, we apply activities. We pursue a lot of initiatives from the upstream side of our business down to the downstream. Yeah. At the upstream side, okay, if you look at industrial forests, what do we do to decrease or to reduce emission? Yeah. We operate a lot on peatland. Okay, so water management is key, right? And then also, secondly, is that fire prevention. Okay, at the heart of our forest fire management is prevention. Yeah, of course, if there is fire incident, the answer is suppression, but more importantly, it's fire prevention. So we invest a lot in personnel and in equipment, yeah, but equally important is our work with the surrounding communities, yeah, by providing them alternative solutions, okay? And then in the manufacturing side, of course, I mentioned about the installation of solar panel, yeah, and also recently we have transformed our within factory vehicle, transportation vehicle. We are now employing 10 units of electric vehicles, yeah, to transport our employees. That in itself also is another reduction of carbon emission. Yeah, so, and there are many other initiatives, yeah, that we hope, we are learning from others as well. And of course, we hope others will also be inspired by what we do.
Thank you, Pak Siol. Bu Isabella?
Yes, Pak. So definitely we encounter or face challenges, especially in our concessions. As I mentioned before, we only have 10 team members on site. So, and then also because East Kalimantan, or especially in our concession area, it's very rich. So yes, it's rich with natural resources, including coal, coal, gold, and nickel. So can you imagine the illegal mining activities that's been going on in our concession? So how do we tackle the challenges is by actually engaging the local community. So there is no way we can tackle it without the support of the local community. That is why when we first acquired the concession, the first thing we did actually was to meet with all the local villages, and then also we had the pesta adat, sort of like the customary ceremony, to make sure that yes, we are there. We honor your customary cultures, and then we want to work with you. And the way we do it is actually we made an initiative to build 3 bridges and 30 kilometers of road which are damaged because of the use of illegal activities, which consists of illegal mining, illegal logging, as well as the poachers, because of the richness of diversity in our area. And surprisingly, so we provide only the material and also the excavator, but then again, all the human power came from the local community. And we managed to build all of them within 1 month with a very small amount of money. I mean, 300 million rupees is nothing. But then again, the collaboration is there. And at the end of it, because the sense of belonging of the people is already there, they made their own initiative to block the illegal miners and illegal loggers from using the bridges and the road. So, you know, the patrol from the community is there without our asking. So this is amazing. And then I encourage, you know, all companies to make this kind of inclusivity and also collaboration with the local community, because if we engage them and then we don't just sell promises, we actually put the ambition or our initiative into action, then I think they would definitely embrace our presence there.
Amazing, thank you. Pak Prof. Indrayono.
Well, the question is, how is the forest industry is moving forward? Let me put one target I just mentioned to you. First, you know that, as you mentioned also from Andika Nature, we are talking about some illegalities. So issue number 1, when the government said something legal, we go with that legality. So all the forest product must be coming from a legal resources. That's number 1. Number 2, the global issues of sustainability is mentioned regarding on reducing deforestation. I think Indonesia also achieved that target number 2. Number 3, we try to prevent forest fire. The president mentioned that yes, we are able to reduce up to 80% of our forest fires. This is very good. Having these 3 targets achieved, we move forward. We have to go into the global market. Now we are exporting 14 to 15 billion US dollar a year. Our target, the roadmap of APHI is 60 billion US dollar in 2045 in a sustainable forest industries. Okay, in that issues, as mentioned by Pak Sihol, technology has to be implemented over there. For example, our plywood industries, they're using technologies of the 1980s. Now, in the year 2020s, the technology is moving. You are not using natural forests. You are going into a plantation forest with the new technology of glue, the pressing technology, and so on. Second, the creativity. This is the thing I like to issue. So, yes, with the new job creation law, there is a new, new ways of doing forest industries in Indonesia, and I'm talking about 60 billion US dollar in 2045, and having the upcoming carbon trading, hopefully this can be achieved in a sustainable way, because we are able now to handle the forest fire, we are able to handle the forest degradation, we are able to handle the deforestation, and we are able to decrease the illegality in forest product. I think we are ready to go into that area. Bagus.
Thank you,
Pak
Prof.
Agus.
So I give the opportunity to the audience. It's going to be, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 first because we only have around 15 minutes. Here, the ladies first. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yes, okay. 1, 2, 4%, just a short
Yes,
question.
yeah. I just want to ask April, because I compare your presentation with Ibu Indrawati, and I found that you did not mention about women empowerment. There are 17 goals of SDGs in which I noticed that not all of them are mentioned by you. So how you have a plan or some plans to reach all the 17 goals of SDGs? This question is maybe for you as well. Thank you.
I think we put all these 3 and then the question. And
All right, thank you, sir, for the opportunity. My name is Faiha. I'm representative of the International Forestry Students Association. My question would be addressed especially to Mr. Indroyono, Pa Indroyono, as for your presentation. So, Pa, in your last slides, you interestingly mentioned about, sorry, can you hear my voice? So,
Just louder, just
in
speak
your
up.
last slides part, you interestingly mentioned about 12 species of potentially forest products that we can sell to export, right? But as we are all aware, mostly in forest concessionaries right now in the current status quo, we mainly use like common species, for example, like acacia or shoria and others. So how can we try to convince the market to use all 12 species, these potential species that we could sell? And what kind of policies do you think we need to create to amplify the actions and make it effective? I think that's for me. Thank you.
Okay, on the left, please have the. You should speak louder because it's really.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Agus. Timur Manurung from Aroiga Nusantara. My question will be to Pak Sihol. Few days ago, we released the new data on pulp and paper, and we saw that deforestation by pulp and paper actually surging, 5 times increase compared to 2017. So 5 years ago is 5 times. And part of the April is, I don't think that is the April, but more larger of the same beneficial owners in pulp in that deforestation. The second one, and then how April then makes sure its supply chain not joining in deforestation that now increase in pulp and paper. And the second one will be on the plantation in the peatland. We did simulation and we saw that the only way for pulp and paper in the peatland is just to step out from the peatland rather than to do something, because the emission of subsidence, sequestration, etc., it will be then huge in emission. Is there a map of April to move out from or what is the roadmap to make sure the emission not depleting in the peatland? Can I ask to Pak Agus?
Okay,
Pak
quick
Indra?
and short, yes.
Yeah. Pak, actually, Pak Indriano has more talk about industry, but not about the standing stocks. I think we know that pretty sure that logging concession in Indonesia is decreasing, both in hectares and standing stocks. What is then in yearly reformation in Pak Suharto era, we have annual allowable cut. Now we do not have the AAC or jatah tebang tahunan. How then each concession implement this so we know the standing stock Is it still sufficient or not?
Okay, so who's gonna respond first? Okay, Pasio.
To Ibu's question, well, we have 4 pillars to our April 2030 commitment. Climate positive, thriving landscape. I picked those 2, which are relevant for this session. Yeah, but our 3rd pillar, inclusive progress, actually includes education, health, and women empowerment. Our top goal is to have 1 in 5 leaders in our company to be women. And for our community development program, our target is to have at least 50% effective women participation in all our empowerment programs. Yeah. So we are very serious in pursuing women empowerment, and I'm humbled to inform you that I am the champion of women empowerment in our company. Thank you. Now, about the other one, SDGs, there are, of course, 17 goals of SDGs, but back 6 years ago, we have worked with a consulting company to identify which among the 17 goals should be our goals, because 17 goals are simply too much. Yeah? And we have identified 3 core goals of SDGs plus 4 goals where we can play catalytic role. The 3 core goals are actually aligned with our business. Climate change, life on land, and responsible production and consumption. So we have 3 core goals plus 4 catalytic goals where we can play significant role within our community, including women empowerment. Thank you, Ibu.
Excellent. Oh, one more? Okay.
The
sorry.
one from
Yeah,
Pak Timer?
you go ahead.
Okay. 2 questions, I believe, from Pak Timer. About the supply of wood to April, we announced our sustainable forest management in 2015, and included in that commitment is no deforestation. And for every tons of wood that come into our operations, it goes through audit process, yeah, independently audit, and by a reputable audit firm. It's KPMG. So we ensure that no wood comes into our manufacturing operation that doesn't comply with our commitment. And our list of suppliers are available, can be accessed by public in our sustainability dashboard, April sustainability dashboard. You can type in April fiber supply and you will know where we are sourcing our wood from. Second question about operating on peatland. Our commitment is to operate and to manage peatland in a sustainable manner, yeah, to avoid fire and to reduce emission and to apply good world-class water management. That's our commitment for peatland. And some of our estates now are already in the 6th rotation. So we have demonstrated that operating on peatland is viable. Thank you.
Thank you, Pasio. Bu Isabella?
Thank you, Ibu, for the question. So as already mentioned in our presentation, in my presentations, so we're actually happy that we already achieved 5 up from the 17 goals, which is the gender equality. So we have 4 board members in Indica Nature, and one of them is me, actually woman. And then also I think 40% of our employees are women also. And then also for the infrastructure, as I mentioned also, we try to make the infrastructure for the concession as well. Also for the other ones is and for also number 11, life on land, and then partnership on goals, and as well as the sustainability for the communities. So as I mentioned also, we're just a baby child. We're still a baby taking to make big steps, but we're there. We're making commitments as well as key we're making also plans. And hopefully next year in COP29, we can report more on our SDG goals achievement. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Prof.
Okay, Sandra, your question is how to convince market, right? First, in natural forests, the global market knows only Indonesian trees like bangkirai, like meranti, like merbau, and teakwood. That's it. We get a lot of we have variety of other woods. We call it mixed wood. And those will stay in the forest. It's our job now to promote this. We ask our ambassadors all over the world to just to introduce this kind of woods for various of products, because those are stays still in the forest. Because those are most of those are only hardwoods. And the question of my colleague over there, how can you preserve the standing stock, right? Actually, every year, each of the concessionaires should propose their what we call it annual product target, rencana kerja tahunan, to the Ministry of Environment and Forestry. How much they want to cut the trees and how many can be produced and so on. So in order to do that, to make it more sustainable, a lot of technology like a sealing and also reduce impact logging, silviculture intensive and so on, it has be introduced into the natural forest activities. Nowadays, our forest concession and natural forests are looking forward also to go into carbon sequestration and also carbon trading. We are looking forward very soon that we go into the global market with our achieving NDC target. At the same time also, we should be able to do some international carbon trading. I think that's my question.
Thank you. So I think I have time left. It's okay. So, sorry. You have 10 minutes. Okay, is there any? That's good one. Okay, could you please give the mic?
Thank you, Mr. Agus. I'm really surprised. 3 speakers is talking about the fire. I am very glad as you have already planning how to prevent the fire.
He's a fireman.
And I just want to give some question to Isabella, because I realized that Telaga Mas used to be the concessionary. I experienced 2010, I will investigated this concession. It's very rude. Yeah, there are a lot of illegal logging there. So I'm very surprised when you have green, as you mentioned, child, this baby child to manage the green. My question is, as far as I know, there is a protected forest in that area. So, are you have already done some planning or activity to that protected forest in order to increase of the livelihood local people surrounding the forest, including the prevention of forest fire management? Thank you.
Yeah, that is just.
Yeah. Yes, Pak. So although we're just a baby player, but because the issue is so big in East Kalimantan, so that is actually our main, it's our major concern also. So we already make a patroli bersama with the KPA, the surrounding KPAs, KPH, yeah. So we already do that. Also, we erected the forest towers, the Menara Api also to protect the area. And we already bought the fire brigade car equipment actually to protect the environment. We already also engage a special unit in addition to our team members. So I'm also happy to report to you that compared to last year, the titik api, right, the forest dots in the spots in our area, the fire spot in our area has decreased. So it's it's a good thing. And then we're it's our it's our major concern. But up to now, we have been dealing with it quite good, I think. Yeah. Thank you, Pa.
Thank you. Oh, Pak Siol.
Yeah, I would like to add. I think we, from field experience, forest fire must be prevented. That's the key idea. We can invest a lot in personnel, in suppression capability, but forest fire, the best way to deal with it is by preventing the forest fire. Now, before that, I would like to ask your permission, Pa Agus. Yeah.
Sure.
I forget to run a 2-minute video that illustrates the progress so far of our April 2030 commitment, which contributes to Follow Net Sing 2030. The video, please. Thank you.
Let's see the video.
Just a short video. Thank you. That's it? Yeah. Oh, closing.
We are closing.
Okay. All right. So for closing, I would like to reiterate again that April will not stop here. We continue our journey. For now, for the next 7 years, we have April 2030 that will guide us. And this is aligned with a national priority in achieving Follow Net Sing. Okay. And then for every indicators of sustainability, we have set up measurable KPIs so that everyone is accountable. Yeah, for every indicators of sustainability, we assign it to business units, we assign to managers, we assign to senior staff. Yeah, so it will stick, and we will demand sustainable practices from all aspects of our operations. And we are learning, we continue to learn from others also who are also in the forefront of sustainability practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak. Just short closing.
So yes, Indica Nature is a newcomer in the industry, but we believe that by declaring our commitments, just what we did in 2022 at COP27, should be also declared now. And then we declare that we have stronger commitments than last year. And we believe that by doing or implementing integrity and also sustainability in our work, in our projects, and also in our activities, we will achieve the target by 2030. And then also, I would highlight what Pak Dirjen mentioned, inclusivity and collaboration between all parties should be taken by all parties in Indonesia to make sure that we achieve the national target as well. Thank you so much, Pak.
Pak Indrayana? Thank you. Okay, so I should close this session, but I don't want to give any conclusion.